Okay, morning everybody. On this fine Saturday morning, I am marking trees on a piece of property that we're buying the timber on, and the reason I'm marking them we're not going to go into. That's some local politics stuff, but neither here nor there. Play ball and do what they want. So I'm just going to take you through a quick, how I do it. I'm no forester. Kind of have an idea of what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and what we want to get rid of to help this forest get better, and do it the right way, I guess you would say. So we're going to go through and mark what we want to cut, and I'll explain how I'm going to do it. I'm trying to find a place where I can put the phone, but y'all can see what I'm doing without dropping it in a patch of poison ivy, because there's plenty of this or that around. If that stays there, that would be perfect. Okay, so behind me here I got a big. I knew you wouldn't stay there. Try it again, huh? I need like 2 branches. I need a stick to put this dang thing on. Alright, hold on. Alright, how's that? That's a little better, right? Okay, so we're going back here and mark this. I got a lot of stuff, can't hold the camera. This is my scale book that I do footages in species, scale stick, and obviously the paint. So that's how I'm going to do this. This is the Doyle tree scale stick. It's form class 78. That's for our area. Form class is for, like if you're on the West Coast, it's a different form class. I think if you head down into like the Carolinas, Tennessee, that's a different form class. I'm not sure of all the different form class. I just know our area is 78. So, I've explained in some past videos how to use this. You hold this 25 inches from the eye, and without moving your head, you use your eyes to line up, the diameter of the tree, and it tells you on here the diameter. And then this down here is, as you can see, this number 16-foot logs. How you can get that is you walk 66 feet from the tree, and you use what they call a mare hypsometer, and that's on this. So I would walk 66 feet from the tree, and holding this away from your face such as this, you would line this bottom part up where you would cut the tree, and without moving your head, you look up to the top of where you would stop, where your marchable height stops for saw logs, not pulpwood, all the way down to blocking, and you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's how many 16 footers. So if you've got two marchable height of 2, that would be 32 feet of usable log. Or say that tree is 20 inches in diameter when you read it on the stick, okay, and you have a marchable height of 2 16-foot logs, gives you an estimated board footage of 225. All right, now that allows for butt swell, defect, trim for limbs and all that. So if you were to figure out 2 16-foot logs, one at like 20 inches in diameter, one at like 15, because you're gonna have taper in the log, you're gonna obviously get a lot more lumber than that. But this is how it's designed. I usually figure when I scale it with a stick and I come back and do the prop. Ooh, don't you fall. And I come back and we cut it. It usually cuts out 25% more, depending on the marchable height of the timber. If you have stunted growth timber, it's going to be very close. But if you have very tall timber, you'll get a little bit more. So it usually grows by about 25%. I'm very conservative in my numbers. I basically figure what I figure, and then the fellow that purchases it takes it from there. So I don't know that end of it too well, like the purchasing end. I'd like to learn it more, and I'm working on that. Don't really have anybody to teach me, so I'm kind of just learning, and I just want to make sure I learn the right way and the best way that I feel, so I do good for the landowner and for me. I hope to buy a piece of timber of my own someday, but right now it's not really feasible. But let's go do this. This sycamore is just gigantic. There's a bunch of them down here. First thing we have to do is you have to put double blazes on it, and it'll be a slash on one side, slash on the other, and then 2 dots directly below it, or a dot below each slash. So that's the slash mark in the tree to cut it. That dot shows after it's cut that that was a marked tree. Okay, so she's marked. I'm going to hold the stick 25 inches from my eye, and it's important that you do it inside the bark. You know, you don't want to mark outside the bark. It's going to give you a, you figure your bark's a 1/2 inch thick on each side on a sycamore. On something like a red oak or a poplar this big, you would get thicker bark up to almost an inch. So I'm looking at about 31. And as I look up this tree, I got pretty good from bucking logs guessing the length. I can look up this tree and see before it gets real nasty top, I'm going to get 3 16-foot logs out of that. So, go back here. I'm going to check it in 2 spots just to be sure. There's a one way. This is a big tree. I'm going to go with 32. I think I'm going to stick with 32. So 32 at 3. There's an estimated 1,068 board feet in that log, in that stem. So I'll write down, say 1,068. That's an exceptional tree. So it's marked, and I'm going to come over here and I'll give you a little more on why I want to mark these trees. That one is the reason we're trying to get rid of as much of the sycamore as we can is because it's considered an inferior species. It makes great blocking, but it's not really what you would want for a grade lumber tree. So we're trying to get in here to get some of that stuff out of here to promote the good growth of good hardwood. And it's awesome timber to cut. It's big blocking. I mean, I love moving big sycamore. Makes good weight. It's easy to cut. It's easy on, you know, it's easy to cut. I mean, it comes down nice, holds together pretty good. Now here's soft maple. There's a lot of soft maple. Hold on, I got things everywhere. I apologize. So, yeah, I got to carry all that. Over there is a stream, fairly sizable. No roads within 15 or 50 feet of that waterway. We are in a floodplain down here, and it's very flat laying, as you can tell. So we obviously want to cut it when it's warm out. This is a soft maple here. Now we're trying to promote good growth. You look up at soft maple, and I don't know what the camera's doing because I got it backwards, but there's a big rotten limb that broke off a while ago. So we're going to get a log out of this bottom, but it's probably going to be a little doty in the center because that rot travels down it. But there's good material above it, so we will harvest this tree. And then looking back, there's a big sycamore back there. There's one over there, one over there. And then, you know, I'll just work this how I think it would be best to thin this out. We have some smaller hard maples growing in here, so other trees that we would call cull trees, and I'll get into them in a minute. I got to mark some more, and when I get into cull trees, I'll describe them and explain them a little better. All right, this is an example of a cull tree. It's a tree that you'd be marked for removal. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to take it. It just has to be severed or cut because it's robbing. So we got a nice little soft maple here. It's probably going to become something someday. We got this little bugger here robbing light from it and nutrients. So we're going to remove that, hack it out of there, and it's really 2 pulp sticks. It ain't nothing to really speak of. It's going to open that up for some of these smaller trees to promote the growth of them. I mean, there's a couple little maples over there, and a little maple there, little maple there, one here. So we're gonna, and that's what they would call box elder. It makes some cool lumber, but there's no market for it. It's mostly just a pulp figure. So that'll be a cull tree, and I'm gonna mark this booger right here as a cull tree. We want to get that out of here, and that's to improve the stand. Get rid of these and let some good stuff grow. Okay, here's the situation. I got what I call a little pot belly down here. It's a little area of wetland where water will lay when you get lots of good rain. You get an area that holds water, kind of like a pond, but not really. Dries up. Now here's the situation I am. Got a nice little soft maple there we want to whack, but unfortunately what it's going to do is it wants to fall. Sorry, I can't use my fingers so my hands are full, but it wants to fall right into there, and those are all nice new young soft maple. They're growing straight, they're healthy looking. Dropping that tree through there would smash all that residual stand. So I'm gonna leave that tree, I'm not gonna take that. And honestly what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pluck that little set elm right here, right there.
I'm going to cut that out of there, and it's going to open all that sunlight up to these 3 in here, and they'll take off. I've got one marked over there. We're going to leave that smaller one there to the right of it. Can you see my marks? I'm sorry, I'm not using my darn fingers. You probably can't see what I'm doing here. Either way, there's a group of 3 right there. The big one on the left is going, the 2 on the right are going to stay. That nasty ugly thing there, it's robbing all this sunlight, that's going. We're going to take that. I think I got one marked back there, and then there, see this big one here, it's got all these leads coming out of it. I think we're going to leave that and take this one to the right and call that little shrubby piece of crap out of there, let some more light in. So like I said, I don't want to drop that through there and mash. I mean, you're going to get one so-so tree and you're going to crush 30 what will be beautiful trees at some point. So there's no sense in doing that. You just leave that there and let it grow. All right, here's another situation. We got 2 soft maples about equal size. This one's a little bigger, definitely nicer. Okay, most would come and cut that one and leave this one because it's got this little magooch in the bottom here. There's definitely dote in that, rod in that, in the butt. I can come up into here where the sunlight's hitting right there, like right in here, and I can cut that out. So I'm going to remove that tree now while it's healthy, well, in the future here. And then I'm going to leave this one to propagate new good growth. It seems like a stable tree. It's nice, it's tall, it's healthy looking, there's no scars in it. We'll leave that one. And then this little piece of crummy here, we're going to cut that out. That's a cull tree. That's not worth anything, just going to get rid of it to help this one grow. So that was a little situation I like to show you. Okay, we're here at the house. I want to get back to my little my little sheet here. So that's a scribbles. I don't want to give away landowner names because I'm sure they don't. Okay, landowner 1. Give me a second here. What can we cover up the other landowner name with? Here, give me 1 second. I can't use that. Okay, give me a second here. Can you see me? My bald head. Alright, let's do this. I wasn't prepared. Okay. So, when I come back and do my tallies, these are all my tallies. So you see them all, sycamore, cherry. Those are codes for like sycamore, and then I didn't, or that's soft maple. SM's soft maple, that's cherry. Cottonwood, walnut, and then footages. Don't rhyme or my reason. My papering is a little wild, but yeah. So I'll break down each piece of each block. There's 2 blocks together, 2 different landowners. We're doing them both at the same time. So you have your soft maple and your total footage, and your sycamore and your total footage, and your cottonwood, total footage, cherry, walnut, whatever. I had 16 cull trees, 115 marked trees for sale. Now, that's marked on the Doyle scale, Forum Class 78 on the stick. Now, from past experiences, because if you take that stick and you scale a standing tree, all right, and then cut that tree down, break it into logs and scale it, you're going to find you get 25 to 35% more footage out of it. So those footages there, I will add, depending on what kind of deductions I think there'll be, I will add anywhere from usually 20 to 25% more to the footage numbers to come up with my total tallies to what would be paid to the landowner. So that's how I do it. I need to get with someone that really knows what they're doing. I'd like to just kind of hang around and ask them questions and figure out how they come up with the differences, because if you go by what the stick says and then you cut it, you obviously get more. And I know with each job that I've scaled and cut comes back a little more and a little more, and that's kind of where I get my numbers at. So there's got to be a little bit of a better way. It's like a shotgun system for me. It's been working so far for us, but I want to try to get better at it. So that's just how I do it. Like I said, not saying it's the right way. Hopefully you guys find this entertaining, and I will be doing a video in the future here of what I'll do is I'll scale a tree with the stick. We will cut that tree down, we'll haul it out to the lane, we'll break it up into logs, and then we will scale the logs, and we will figure out the actual footage of the logs. So you guys can get an idea of like how it grows if you don't know what I mean. So, but alrighty, everybody, you have a good one.